Hi everybody, I just wanted to give you an example of how you can easily integrate so much of educational value into normal daily life. Like, for example, today in the morning I was drinking my morning coffee and asking AI about top world news today. It said something about Iran-US conflict, something about protests in India, and some other things like heat wave and so on. And I will just give you examples what questions popped up into my mind and how what educational value it gave to my son who was sitting and eating breakfast in front of me. Like, for example, the first news that I got was escalation of US-Iran conflict, Houthi Red Sea attacks and oil prices. Yeah, so we immediately started asking questions about like who is Houthi and what is it about, because the strikes were actually, this Houthi appeared to be in Yemen, and we looked at Arabic half island, and actually the Strait of Hormuz that was blocked before. I was talking a lot, we have a world map at home, and I was talking to the kids that this is why the oil prices when you tank the car are fluctuating so much, because it's being blocked because of Iran and US conflict. But now actually there were attacks in another strait, and this we had to go to the map, look where Yemen is and where Red Sea is, and see that it is another blockage of the oil that can come to us from Arabic half island. So it was very interesting, and for us the whole Arabic half island has always been like also this kind of similar countries. They are not similar at all. We started asking like why is US backing Saudi Arabia, and we discovered that they are partners, that Saudi Arabia supports US in this conflict, and that Houthi is a group that Iran supports that is against Saudi Arabia, and so on. So you can see it's a lot of geography, history, society. After that, we went on to religion. Please stay here then. We went on to religion, and we started talking about we started asking questions what kind of Muslim because we thought, okay, Saudi Arabia is Muslim country, Iran, what cannot they why cannot they like be friendly to each other? And then we went on to discover that there is Sunni and Shia Muslims, and in this way we got reminded about it, and we talked about differences there. I immediately asked AI about that, and my son listened by my side, and suddenly we remembered about another type of philosophy in Islam that is more about inner war than the outer war. And then we asked AI about it. I thought it was Sunni or Shia because I forgot what it was, but it was Sufism. And we talked a little bit about Sufism, that Sufism can be within Sunni and Shia too. So it was a huge educational value in under 4 minutes, let's say. Then there were interesting news about India, and there was a guy with a Tibetan name, what seemed to me like Tibetan name, that was protesting against very competitive atmosphere in exams, because in India is high pressure on kids to enter school. And then I discovered that this guy, Wang Chug something, and that he was protesting with a hunger strike for changes in this unhealthy educational environment in India. And we went on to check who is this guy, and he has his own educational center. And on top of that, he is building ice stupas to provide to people of Ladakh, an area within India where a lot of Tibetan refugees water. They have drought in spring, so they transport a lot of water very high. Then when it's winter, it automatically drops, and through the pipe, because of the altitude differences, because it's minus 20 degrees, it automatically builds something that resembles a Buddhist stupa. So when in spring it melts, it provides just enough water to water the crops for seeds to grow in spring, where it's not yet too much water in the rivers. So this guy was very inspiring and actually amazing. So this is how we easily got into covering a lot of different international events, got to know little insights in the life in India, in Ladakh, watched the video from this ice stupas, was very interesting, and watched this interesting man who does not only improve life in India for people in Ladakh, but also improves for the whole India with the exam and education system. So later that day we went on to talking about different YouTubers, and we reflected on my son Sebastian. What was the name of YouTuber? I show speed. Yeah. So the YouTuber with the name I show speed was on VM, on a World Cup in football. And I remember like 10 years ago, or maybe over 10 years ago, when I was getting teacher education in Sweden, and I was working in a high school in Sweden. Teachers in the teacher room were laughing at students that, oh, everybody wants to become a YouTuber. But now actually this is your way. You can get your online presence and reach out with like-minded people and connect to them. And there are so many ways to be yourself nowadays. I remember also now BTS was also at the World Cup, and BTS is a K-pop band. And I remember back in Norway when I was teaching in a high school, there were very few girls who were into K-pop, and now it's the movies are made about K-pop. It is becoming so big that it is in they are in the World Cup finals on stage together with YouTubers. So I think kids know and feel so much more about the world they are going to live in, and we sometimes come with our old glasses and values and norms and ideas about what's important and what's not. But we should really listen to this new generation. I think they know a lot about what they should focus on in order to be successful in life. You want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.